So in this video, I want to talk to you guys about stress and how it can affect the body and mind. I wrote down several notes for this. It's pretty frightening what happens to your body and your mind, brain more specifically, when you're under chronic stress, continuous stress. A lot of bad things can happen, and I'm going to go through my notes, try to make this as quick as possible. I have quite a bit to read. Stay right to the end because you're going to want to learn this and know this and be aware of this. So cortisol decreases critical thinking. Now cortisol is a hormone that your body releases. I'll get to that in a second. When your brain detects stress, they're talking about cortisol here. When your brain detects stress in the environment, your stress response system goes into action. This begins HPA axis, which stands for hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal. Now, when this happens, your body releases a hormone called cortisol, which primes the body for instant action. High levels of cortisol over time wreak havoc on your brain. As cortisol levels rise, electric signals in the hippocampus, which is part of the brain associated with learning, memory, stress control, it deteriorates. Chronic stress can affect the brain size, brain structure, and how it works. That's pretty scary what I just said there. Now, it can shrink the brain, which is the prefrontal cortex, which is part of the brain that regulates behaviors like concentration, decision making, judgment, and social interactions. All these things are affected when we stress continuously, chronic stress. Chronic stress make it harder to learn, remember things, which sets the stage for more serious mental problems like depression and eventually Alzheimer's. The good news, though, is that there's many ways to reverse what cortisol does. The most powerful thing you can do to fight and reduce the cortisol and the stress in your life is to exercise, meditate, and pray. Now, this is, I kind of went through these notes pretty quick, but just think of the stuff I said. It affects the cortisol levels, affects things like, your learning, your memory, your stress control. That deteriorates. Your brain, chronic stress can make your brain size change its structure, the brain structure, and how it works. So these are huge problems for people that overstress. And let's be honest here, a lot of people have stressful jobs. They are living in continuous stress, chronic stress. It can affect your concentration, decision making, judgment, social interactions, remembering things, and it's harder to learn. It can also, if the chronic stress, the continuous stress continues for long enough, it can lead to worse things like depression and Alzheimer's. So it's very, very important that we focus on limiting the stress in our lives. Exercise, meditate, pray. And I know praying and the whole God thing is touchy with a lot of people. But if you do believe in God, I would highly recommend praying. It's pretty scary, and I want to touch on this really quick. A lot of people, they watch the news daily, and the news is very negative. It causes stress because it's so negative and it's so polarizing. And it's a fact that when it's negative content or stressful content material, the views are way higher than when it's boring, run-of-the-mill topics that people just brush over. So if you are struggling with stress, maybe watch less news. Maybe try to avoid arguments. That's just my 2 cents. But these things are very scary. Cortisol just destroys the body. This is, of course, some people will stress, and it's not talking about the average thing, because people are going to stress no matter what. but it's staying in that stressful state. The chronic stress is what wreaks havoc on the brain over time. So I just wanted to make this video and put that out there so people know and are aware of this. I love each and every one of you. God bless. See you soon.